Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again and I'm still waiting for the new set to come out. I'm waiting for Brothers War to appear. I might try and get some sneak peek videos out when I see a few more of the cards. There's been a couple of legendaries spoiled this week as I'm recording this and I'm really not that impressed with them, so that's why you haven't got one. But I decided to go back a little bit further. So I've gone back to Modern Horizons 2 for this card. It's one of those decks where you're probably going to annoy your play group something immensely if they don't all quit on the spot, or you're just going to fall flat in your face and be made a complete fool of. But it's fun, it's enjoyable. I'm just going to give my usual disclaimer. There's a couple of cards in here that are really expensive in real life. Obviously, you can take them out, play other cards if you want to when you look at this deck. But just bear that in mind. Don't forget, I always play most of these decks I record on MTGO. A few of them I have built in real life. Not quite to the level I've got on MTGO because of the cards I have, but this one's going to be an expensive one if you try and build it in real life. So, without further ado, let's talk about Yusri, Fortune's Flame. 1 blue and red for a legendary creature of Freet for a 2/3 flyer. That's pretty good. Has a nice little ability though. Whenever Yusri attacks, choose a number between 1 and 5, flip that many coins. Yeah, okay. Flip that for each flip you win. This gets where I get tongue-tied doing these cards today, sorry. Draw a card. For each flip you lose, Yusri deals 2 damage to you. If you won 5 flips this way, you may cast spells from your hand this turn without paying their mana cost. Yay. Who doesn't love a coin flipping deck? And this is what I've built, basically. I have scoured the internet. I haven't looked at anything at all. I just went onto the trade sites and just put flip and coin in as a search for this and came up with a few cards I thought were quite interesting. Whether this is any good or not, I don't know, but the deck's here and I think it's worth having a laugh with it. So, here's the deck. Hopefully we can get that up there, just so I can show some of the cards off as we go along. There we go. Right, okay. So I'll start with the lands. We have got the usual selection of blue-red lands, as you would expect. Reliquary Tower's in, Temple of the False Gods in, and Command Tower really the only sort of like, and Morocco, Center of the Sea are the only real other cards in there that don't produce red or white. Red or white. I'm really bad today. Red or blue mana. I did think about playing Fabled Passage and Field of the Dead, but I decided, nah, for once I'll leave them out of the deck. You can put them in if you want to. If you do put them in, drop a couple of mountains to put them in. But I decided against bothering with this. As for the ramp side of it, it's a little bit different, the ramp. So we've got Mana Crypt, we've got Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Fire Diamond, Sky Diamond, and Thought Vessel. The reason I want Thought Vessel is to pair up with our lovely Reliquary Tower, so you can have no maximum hand size. You could play Spellbook in here, but I have got some other things kicking around that help us ignore the hand size we have as well, because we're probably going to be drawing a lot of cards and doing things that we wouldn't normally do. The idea of the deck is to get some key bits down, start flipping coins, and upsetting people as we go along. Because basically we do want to try and win all 5 flips if we can, and the main way we have of doing this is with Carrick's Thumb. If you would flip a coin, instead flip 2 coins, ignore 1, so you're always going to have, you know, an above average chance of getting, say, all the heads you want to get the 5 cards. And since we're playing Carrick's Thumb, I thought we'd better play Carrick the Thumbless. We do have quite a few instants and sorceries, and copying some of them is very good. Copying some of them is really bad, but we'll see what happens, and it's a bit of a laugh. So, the ramp's covered. I think it's worth just going through some of the cards in this deck, because the chances are a lot of you won't have seen these before, so this is probably going to be a slightly longer deck tech than I've been doing recently, so apologies for that. Some of the cards you'll know. Wizard class, I'm hoping you remember from Forgotten Realms. This is another way of making sure we have no maximum hand size. We can draw some cards when we level it up, and we can chuck some +1/+1 counters around eventually. Lightning Bolt you all know, Elixir of Immortality you all know. I've put this in so I can shuffle everything back in, so I've got a feeling a lot of this deck will end up in the graveyard quite rapidly. Hopefully not in the exile zone, but in the graveyard. Sensei's Divining Top so I can manipulate the top of the deck. Ominous Seas is one of our win conditions. We do have ways of drawing lots of cards in this deck, and getting the 8 counters on here shouldn't be too hard. If we can keep doing it and keep producing 8/8 Krakens, they're bigger than most things in Magic, so Hopefully it'll work out for us. Snapcaster Mage is in, so we can flash back some of the instants and sorceries that end up in our graveyard. Desperate Ritual to ramp quicker into some of the things we've got coming up. Red deck, Dockside. Don't be surprised. You know, I've said it a couple of times now. If I'm playing red, Dockside is going in now. End of. Goblin Archaeologist is the first thing we've got where we flip cards. So it's a 1/2 Goblin for 2 mana, and it's 1 and a tap, flip a coin. If you win the flip, destroy target artifact and untap the Archaeologist. If you lose the flip, sacrifice the Archaeologist. You don't want to be doing this until you've got the thumb in play. Just bear it in mind. Likewise, Goblin Kaboomist is here as well. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a colourless artifact token named Landmine with sacrifice this artifact and it pings something without flying. Then flip a coin. If you lose the flip, it will kill itself, basically. Again, it's another card you don't want to do unless you've got the thumb in play. Tavern Scoundrel's quite interesting. It's a nice little way of ramping up our mana. Hopefully we'll be winning a lot of coin flips. Therefore, we'll get a lot of treasure tokens. And we can also sacrifice a permanent to flip coins again if we want to get more. So, yeah, that's quite a nice little one they bring out. I think it was Modern Horizons 2 as well, yeah. Arcane Infusions in. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Find an instant or sorcery. Put them and them into your hand. And the rest on the bottom in your random order. This is just so we can go and find some of the spells we've got coming up more than anything else. Sorcerer class is in as well. Creatures you control when you level it up. So when it first comes into play, you draw a couple and discard a couple. So sort of, wherever the flashback spell is, I can't remember the name. I'll come to me in a minute, I'm sure. Creatures you control for level 2 can tap to add blue or red, and you can use this to cast instants or sorcery, or to gain a class level, which means you can level up. And so whenever you cast, when you get to level 3, which is what we're aiming to do, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, that spell deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of instants and sorcery spells you've cast this turn. So even if you get it leveled up to level 3 and you're just casting 1 a turn, you are pinging everyone, but everything beyond that really helps out. Here comes the money shots. I'll just say it now. Time Twister's in the deck, Wheel of Fortune's in the deck. You know what they do. You know how expensive they are in real life. Take them out if you need to. Put other things in. Treasure Cruise springs to mind, or anything that will help you draw cards. It doesn't matter where it comes from, but yeah, you can take them out. But obviously I own these on MTGO, hence why they're here. I do not own them in real life. I don't have that many followers here on YouTube. I don't make that much. I don't make any money from YouTube at the moment. But that's why I don't have them in real life. However, they are here on MTGO and they're still reasonably priced. So if you're playing MTGO a lot, go and get them. I keep saying this. Right, I am playing Tribute Mage, Trinket Mage, and Trophy Mage. Now, they all do the same thing. They all go and fetch an artifact out of your library. Tribute Mage is here to go and get Carrick's Thumb. Trinket Mage is here to go and get Elixir of Immortality or Soul Ring. Or, I think do less, or Mana Crypt if we need it. Trophy Mage is here to go and get nothing at all as things stand, because I've realised I've put the wrong card in further down. So Trophy Mage is going to come out right now because I'm an idiot, and I am going to put in what I had up here, which I completely forgot about. Where is it? Is it that one? Yeah, Curiosity Crafter. There we go. That's what I was meant to put in before I started filming the video. So we'll come to that in a minute. Still, it's another creature. So yeah, Trinket Mage, go and get one of these. Tribute Mage is purely here to get Carrick's Thumb, unless you've drawn it, in which case go and get one of your Signets or Thought Vessel. Chaos Warp, because it is a kind of a chaotic deck, so figured Chaos Warp would be fun. Mog Assassin. Choose target creature an opponent controls, and that opponent chooses target, and then that opponent chooses target creature. Flip a coin. If you win the flip, destroy the creature you choose. If you lose the flip, destroy the creature your opponent chooses. You should win the flips with Carrick's Thumb around, realistically. I can't see a reason why you wouldn't. Playing the Chaos, this will upset your opponents. Whenever a player casts a spell, that player flips a coin. If they lose the flip, counter that spell. And at the beginning of our upkeep, if we lose the flip, we sacrifice playing the Chaos. It is quite a nice little like random red counter spell, for want of a better phrase. And since we're playing this in the deck, I figured it was worth trying it out. Dualcaster Mage copies any instant or sorcery. We flash it in, we copy them, which is really nice. Obviously, you don't want to be copying things like Wheel of Fortune and Time Twister. Copy some of the other stuff we've got coming up, basically. Like, you know, maybe Puppet's Verdict, because you want to try and wipe both sides of the board. And that does give you a nice 3 mana, blow everything up. Or you could copy Squeak's Revenge. Flip a coin that many times until you lose a flip, whichever comes first. If you win all the flips, draw 2 cards for each flip, which is lovely. Stitch in Time, you can just be careful with this. You can deck yourself with Carrick's Thumb in play, and it is probably worth having something like the other Jace in play, where you can win the game if you can't draw a card. That's probably worth adding in. I might do that as we go through the video. Actually, I might just do it now while I'm thinking about it, actually, because I have one, and it's probably better than Curiosity Crafter from that point of view. So Mystery's in, Curiosity Crafter comes in. It's like I'm doing a deck build in front of you all today. Anyway, Stitch in Time, flip a coin. If you win the flip, take an extra turn after this one, which is really nice. A little way of getting an extra turn if you need it. Sashkimir with 1,000 Faces to copy some of our other creatures we've got coming up. Archmage Emeritus to draw the cards that we might not be drawing otherwise. Teferi's Ageless Insights is really nice. Obviously, it combos really well with Ominous Seas, along with Archmage Emeritus, because if you draw one in the, outside of your draw steps, you're going to draw 2 cannons on here. You'll soon be pumping out the Krakens. Jace, you've just seen. Yep, I just realised that should be here. I've also included a little bit of dice rolling because it's quite fun. So, Delina the Wild Mage is here. Which is roll a d20, you get a copy of the creature, and then if you get 15 to 20, you get to do it again. Trap Runner's quite nice. Flip a coin, flip 3 coins. For each flip you win, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. It's quite a big 4/2 body, and it's quite a nice little pump as we go along. Chance Encounter. Whenever you win a coin flip, put a luck counter on here. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Chance Encounter has 10 or more luck counters on it, you win the game. This is one of your big win conditions in the deck. I wouldn't be playing it until I'm ready to start flipping coins and I had Carrick's Thumb out, or I had Carrick himself out, so I could do that with the Instants and Sorcery. So bear it in mind, okay? Chaos Channeler is another d20 roller, and I figured it'd just be a bit of a laugh. And it's a reasonable creature for 4 mana for 4/3, hence why it's here. Impulsive Maneuvers goes back to Odyssey. I told you there'd be cards in there you probably haven't seen before. I remember playing with this, I drafted this. But whenever a creature attacks, flip a coin. If you win the flip, the next time a creature would deal combat damage this turn, it deals double that damage instead. If you lose the flip, the next time that creature would deal combat damage this turn, prevent that damage. You should be winning your flips and basically going in for double damage. Bear it in mind. Ral Zerixin, because you can flip 5 coins and take extra turns if you can get it up to 7, which you should be able to do with this deck quite happily. I've also put the Storm Conduit in as well, because we've got Instants and Sorceries we want to scry through, and it does a little bit of copying, which helps. Boom Pile, flip a coin. If you win the flip, destroy all non-land permanents. Thank you very much. One of the big reasons Elixir of Immortality is here, so we can reset the board if need be. Lithothorm Engine lets us copy any of the triggered or activated abilities. So that's quite nice, especially the dice rolling ones. We've just had all the coin flipping ones. We can copy them and hope it goes off even better. And Sorcerer's Strongbox, just a little bit of way of drawing cards that's just quite fun because it involves coin flipping. The partner pair, that this is usually seen a coin flipping depper here. So Zezrip, Eye of Wisdom, and Oaken, Eye of Chaos are here. They both have coin flipping abilities. Zedrup lets you go with drawing a card for each flip you win, and Oaken lets you go with making these really big and powerful until you lose a flip. So bear that in mind. Possibility Storm is going to be the card that makes people hate you, but I'm sure you've all seen it. You've probably all played against it by now. You can take it out. It may not be something you want to play against or play with because it does make you a target, although it's a fun target playing it, but so you may want to drop it out. Kranios, God of the Storms, is here as well, mainly because it's another way of lightning bolting things and it's very hard for your opponents to kill. Prophetic Bolt's in, just so we can look at the top 4 cards of our library, but there's another reason. You'll see that in a minute when we get to the end of the list, because I know you can see Blasphemous Act, but there's more coming up. Mirror March is in, so when our creatures come into play, hopefully we can win the card flips and get a whole load of tokens. I have done this not on this deck, but I have had Carrick's Thumb in play with Dockside Extortionists with Mirror March and ended up with 12 Dockside Extortionists until I lost a double flip and ended up with nearly 100 treasure tokens, I think it was off the top of my head. So yeah, bear it in mind. It's quite good when that happens. You tend to win the game or your opponents quit, one or the other. Speaking of tokens, treasure tokens, Ancient Copper Dragon, Mirror March, yeah, okay. Arcane Bombardment things. We have got instants of sorceries we can exile and bring them back and do things with. And there's more coming up in a minute. 1,000 Year Storm. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it for each other one you've cast this turn. We've got quite a few. We should be able to get some nice triggers off here. Nif Mizzet's probably one of the other win conditions for the deck. Mainly because whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery, you draw a card, and when you draw a card, you deal 1 damage to any target, and so on and so forth. So, at the end of the day, if it just sits there and does 1 damage until it dies, it's fine. Wizard Spellbooks in. This is from the Forgotten Realms. I've had it kicking around in my collection for a while now, and I hadn't played it anywhere. And I thought, well, I'm playing some other things that roll dice. Let's try it in here. And it's not too bad, because you exile an instant or sorcery card from a graveyard, and it can be any graveyard, not just yours, any graveyard. On a 1 to 9, you copy that card, and you may cast a copy. On a 10 to 19, you can copy that card. You may pay the copy by paying 1 instead of paying its mana cost. And you can also do copy each card exiled or wizard spell book. You may cast any number of the copies without paying their mana cost. So that's actually quite nice, because you could be getting rid of loads of instants and sorceries and then magically hit a 20. 5% chance, if you want to do the maths, of hitting the 20, just so you're aware. Right, Dragon Mage, discard your hand, draw 7. Yep, and it's also quite a nice big flyer. Likewise, Ancient Silver Dragons in as well. Hopefully we'll draw the cards and have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. That's the other one. Blasphemous Act, I did mention 2 seconds ago. But the last thing I want to mention are the 3 cards here. Expansion Explosion, everyone probably knows what it does. You can copy an instant or sorcery, you may choose new targets, and then, or you could do the Explosion sides, X damage to any target, target player draws X cards. It's a way of you winning the game once you get an opponent low on life. Likewise, Crackle with Power. I have a feeling that with this deck and the amount of treasures we could possibly create with this deck, we can win with Crackle of Power by using our mana and our treasure tokens to bump all the X values up to some hideous amount, which I'm sure would be fantastic. The final one is Storm King's Thunder. This came from the last Commander Legends set, Battle for Baldur's Gate. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell, copy that spell X times. You may choose new targets for that copy. Now, we only have a few instants of sorceries. Well, we have quite a few actually, to be fair. Prophetic Bolt. If we've got, what? That's 5, 8, 9... If you've got sort of like 12, 13 mana kicking around, doing this for what? X equals 5, and then 5 copies of Prophetic Bolt once it's resolved. Yes, please. Thank you very much. And this is instant, so you can do it at the end of someone's turn. What's even more fun is you've got that 12 mana in play, or that 13 mana in play, and hit the X is, say, 9. Can anyone say Lightning Bolt? 9 3s are 27. Keep going up, Lightning Bolting your opponent. It's probably better with Prophetic Bolt if you've got the mana kicking around. But, if you've got sort of like 13 mana, maybe 14 mana kicking around, 10 copies of Lightning Bolt, thank you very much. You are going to clear the board of most things in play. Bear it in mind. And that's it. That's my little take on Yusri, Fortune's Flame. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a couple of lovely comments on videos the other week, which I'm really grateful for, so thank you for that. But as usual, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment, let me know what I've missed out of the deck. So there's bound to be something that I've missed out that should be in the deck, and I'm quite happy to take the feedback as always. Also, come and give me a follow over on Twitch. I stream on a Tuesday night and a Thursday night, and between 7:30 and 8 o'clock I start UK time, so 2:30, 3 o'clock on the east coast of the States, 8:30, 9:30 if you're across the English Channel or the North Sea to me. Okay, so hopefully you can come and give me a look on Twitch as well. Come and say hi, jump in the chats, hit the follow button. I'll always, if you've got an Amazon Prime subscription you're not using, I will quite happily receive it. I use everything I do to improve the videos in the stream, like the green screen that's behind me. If you look through some of the older videos, you'll see this wasn't here. It's here now. It's all great. But anyway, thank you for watching this. Like I say, leave me any comments down below, and I'll see you the next time I'm doing a video. Take care. See you later. Bye.